What's up, party peoples?
What's up?
Oh, by the way, I'm recording already. Just
Woo woo. I like your backdrop. Very fitting, you know?
anything you do say
I figured.
can or will be used against you in a court of law.
Oh yeah, you're recording, damn it. I always forget.
I even said in having recording that I said anything you do and say shall be used against you. It's a thing.
See, so it's fine. It's a part of our aesthetic.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah, we had the one,
It's our
so now we're
brand.
trying to keep it going.
I'm on brand.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's on brand. Anyway, all right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, nerdies? English Dave here with my co-host I was gonna say Raven. Wow. I was gonna say no.
Not
I was
all
gonna say
black people look alike, Dave.
I wasn't gonna say in place of you. I was actually gonna say Raven, Mercedes, and Mike. I was gonna say all four of you. I'm so used
I
to
miss
saying
her.
all four.
Where's she at? She didn't want to
so
watch
you-
this movie, guys.
No, I don't think she watched this movie. Start again.
I can see why. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. It's when Dave sends us the list of movies, guys, I feel like we all know who's gonna watch it. Like Mercedes says yes to everything.
Right? You're like my
And then
media.
Mike is like, Dave is like core sci-fi mystery horror person who will watch all of those. And then Raven's always she's always got the like visual effects stuff down and making sure you guys are educated and know what that's about, because I mean
Educated.
I'm not about to tell you how that's made.
Exactly.
Got me.
All right, let's go. Hey, what's up, nerdies? English Dave here with my co-hosts Mercedes and Rocket Mike. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
We are here to do another spoiler-free movie review. This time we're looking at HBO Max's latest release, An American Pickle. This stars Seth Rogen and directed by Brandon Troust. This is his directorial feature debut. He's done a couple of TV stuff with Seth Rogen. Have you guys ever seen Future Man or heard of it?
No.
Hulu?
Oh, I know that. That's a Hulu original series,
Yes,
correct?
the Hulu original. Yes. So he did.
And that's
a
like
couple of stuff.
Josh Hutcherson. I've heard good things
Yes,
about
it
it.
is. It is actually good. It's so different in a great way. In some ways, think of if Rick and Morty was live action in terms of the ridiculous things they get up to in the sci-fi world. It's not Rick and Morty. I'm just saying like the ridiculous things they get up to in the sci-fi world and that kind of audience of like pushing
day-to-day
it
antics.
goes there.
Yeah,
it goes
like,
there.
it's
It
crazy.
goes there. You're like, whoa, okay. and in that sense, it's great for that. And this is the director's directorial debut. The synopsis is as follows. Preserved in pickle brine for 100 years, an Orthodox Jewish factory worker wakes up in New York City and tracks down his great-grandson. If you guys didn't realize, Seth Rogen plays dual roles. He plays his great-grandfather and he plays modern-day version of himself. This is a comedy, of course. We all love Seth Rogen comedies of varying degrees. I think just generally we like him for his comedies. So I'll start with you, Mercedes. This is HBO Max. It's a new streaming service. It's one of their debuts. Though I believe this was intended for theatrical release. It wasn't made for this, but it just happened to come out in this.
Yeah.
Go
Go
What
ahead.
were you expecting What were you expecting, Mercedes, going into this?
What was I expecting? Honestly, I was expecting more of like slapstick comedy, which is why I think when I first saw the trailer for this, I was like, I'm a fan of Seth Rogen, but I don't know, but I'll watch it. And then watching it throughout, I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I was, and it ended up being something completely different, which I liked. It was more on the drama side than comedy. What I felt, it was a drama with comedic moments. Things that were funny, like satirical, because it was a mirror of how we live our lives. You know, even though we live in 2020, we kind of had the same thinking and resonate with him, like why things are a certain way, which was, I thought, very comedic. Seth Rogen did a really good job, like I said, parent trapping. So what I got from the movie, it was like a Encino Man, but, you know, more homage to a specific demographic, because this is definitely Jewish culture, lifestyle, and then like the new kind of like lifestyle and what happens when you're non-spiritual. So I liked it a lot.
No, I found this movie that even if it focuses on this Jewish kid and this Jewish great-grandfather, I think it doesn't matter what culture you come from, if you understand a bit of the immigrant story, even if you don't connect it directly yourself, if you understand it in the sense of, you know, the past versus the present, right? in
Right.
terms of what your great grandparents worked hard for you to have versus what you have today. It very much plays on that fish out of water narrative, and even the angle of because he's Jewish, or they're both Jewish, playing on the angle of a devout Jew 100 years ago,
just
to
times,
what a modern day Jewish person might be.
What do we say about our grandparents? It's just a different time. That's why you don't argue with them about like certain things. Like, it's just a different time.
Mike, 2 questions for you. First of all, what did you think of this film? And secondly, specifically as an actor, Seth Rogen's performance in these dual roles, what did you think of that?
Oh yeah, so didn't really have any knowledge. I've seen ads of it. I didn't know what to take from it just from the poster. I'm like, okay, he's clearly going for maybe like a period piece of some kind. It could be seen as a dramedy or even just a straight drama. The movie overall reminded me of a Disney film. Like, it looked like a live action Disney movie because it was very bright. The music was from Michael Giacchino, if I say that correctly, which he's done a lot of Pixar, as you know.
All the Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Spider-Man and Lost. And it was like, his resume goes on and on, but he definitely has a theme. He has a sound that says everything's going to be okay. Everything says kind of like, this is all very light. Nothing's too heavy. Yeah, it's very whimsical, very good. And that's what I also got from that. It didn't seem like there was a lot on the line. There was conflicts that were just being created out of thin air. And not to say it was messy, it was just kind of like, it wasn't so heavy. And I think that's kind of coming from Seth Rogen. That was to be expected. And I'm like, Mike, and then, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you touched on something there. I kind of agree with you. It's, as much as I enjoyed the movie, I can't help but think that it held back. I felt like it didn't have enough punch, because it deals with a lot of really interesting things. And that's one thing. I think it deals with a lot of interesting things and somehow can't quite find the balance because it's kind of scared to go all the way with it. Because it deals with the funny sides of the fish out of water side of Herschel. Yep. But it also deals with the real sides of like, well, some of his beliefs and thinking might be very different, in 2020 or 2019.
Exactly.
This is set.
Oh yeah.
And it touches on those, like the social political sides of it. But I feel like it doesn't go into it as deep as it could have. It almost like,
I felt like they had a hard time because like they were trying, like you said, Disney movie moments with the music. And because remember, this is a short story. So, and that's why you had like the foggy lens in the beginning and it starts to clear up towards like the middle of the film. So that's why I feel like they tried to make it like this sort of like whimsical, slapsticky, and then it got kind of serious at the middle. But then I kind of got lost with the morals of what I was supposed to get from like, I guess I don't know. We got to work together.
I think part of the issue is that I think it starts off hilariously where it doesn't take itself too seriously. Things move along very quickly, and I don't mind that, and I don't even mind omitting some of the drug related stuff that Seth Rogen is used to, but I just think also it holds itself back. Even certain themes when it deals with religion, right? I won't go into spoilers, but there's certain aspects where the film shifts, and the present day Seth Rogen character is questioning. He was raised Jewish, but do you act on it? And some of these themes, and then comes a moment in the movie where he literally has to face that. And I wish the movie kind of dealt with that punch more, and it almost holds back. And it's almost as if I almost wish this was a series, a mini series.
I was going to say the same thing. I would have loved to gotten more out of, his ancestors' experience in the modern day world and how he's interacting with not just like little touches of technology and culture and social media, but go and explore everything. Make him get outside of New York, even
outside of Brooklyn, at least. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been
like him being on a plane now all of a sudden. That's new. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I think as much as a lot of the humor leaned on the whole let's make fun of hipsters, as opposed to
it was very much heavy into that. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't so much a person who's 100 years out of his time. It was more a person dealing with hipsters for the first time.
The whole scene where he's selling pickles on the street is just a slap in the face to that.
Exactly. So it's very Brooklyn. Yeah. I think it was stuck in its Brooklyn bubble, which was funny, but I think, I think my biggest issue is that it plants a lot of seeds that you're like, ooh, that's interesting. And it doesn't go there. And it's like,
To your point about a series, like I would have loved each kind of their fight or their opposing moments as characters, Herschel and I forget what his name was, but whenever they fought, I felt like I kind of wanted a little bit more of that whole, each kind of setup that he did for him, back and forth that they did, that little cat and mouse game. And that would have been nice, like if you developed that over like a series, because like, it wouldn't just be one social media outlet that would, talk about what this one person said. It would be everyone, and how would people think about that? So I think it would have been nicer if it was a little bit longer, but I don't know if they knew where they wanted to go with it, if it went longer.
I actually really liked Seth Rogen's portrayal of both of them. He sold me as two different characters.
Absolutely.
And
yeah,
I almost wish I feel like the movie goes out of its way to keep them apart. In a way, I'm trying not to spoil here, but I feel like we needed more scenes of their relationship. I think the movie spent so much time separating them. Yeah, it could have.
I can't imagine it's easy to, film a scene doing a dialogue with yourself. Not just like on what it takes to get the visual down of yourself in one frame, but with acting, it's all about reacting. But how can you react from yourself? Obviously, he had a stand-in, but it's not the exact same performance as it would be in a traditional film where you actually have a whole, another professional actor right across from you, giving you what you need out. So I can't imagine that's going to be come off too genuine or organic,
But I think that also goes to highlight another shortcoming, though, of the film, is that while I understand that and the need for that, and actually, fun fact, I read somewhere that he had to film the film based around the length of his beard, because that was his actual beard when he's the great grandpa.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can't shave.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But I think my biggest issue that comes from that, though, is that the film then lacks any interesting secondary characters. Again, which is why I wish it was a miniseries, because then you could take the time to explore these other characters and how their dynamics.
Yeah, this would have been a great HBO Max series, because especially with it's like such a little niche thing. If you had it 10 episodes and it started out like, American Pickle, slow movie, opening title, not slow movie, what is it? No sound. When they have like the silent pictures, there we go. That would have been way cooler.
And in fact, you could have been doing, I think with a series, you could spend more time kind of juxtaposing the past and the present, jumping back and forth. Because I think they did a very good job of highlighting the reality. This is a minor spoiler, but like, Herschel wanting to his dream to drink his favorite drink. I won't say what it is. His favorite drink. Little things like that. And I think with the series, you could have had a lot more of that. That back and forth. And I think in that aspect, the fish out of water stuff was done well. It was funny. I think we needed more of that. Because it's almost like, it felt like a whole bunch of episodes of a series put together. Because a lot of the things it touches on, it's like that could be its own episode. That could be its own episode. That could be, and it's all kind of thrown in together. But I think ultimately, if you have HBO Max, I think it was worth a watch, definitely. I wouldn't say buy HBO Max for it.
No. But if you already have it, definitely check it out. It was super interesting, and it was definitely, if you're a fan of Seth Rogen, you'll definitely be a fan of this, because it's totally different from him. It shows a whole different side of his acting, and it's nice to see, your faves do something a little different, not always the same thing.
Like, it's like you're saying, if you like, what's it, Bicentennial Man? No, not Bicentennial Man. Wrong.
Future Man.
The one.
Encino Man?
Encino Man.
Oh, yeah.
Bicentennial Man. That's another movie. That's also
kind of also like a fish out of water, because he's got to figure it out.
But in England
and then
and Europe,
Blast from the Past too, with
Encino Man in England is called California Man, because we were like, what the
California
fuck is
Man?
What's Encino? I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what Encino was. I know it's a place.
Yeah, no, I think it refers to like a prehistoric Paleozoic era or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's what it meant.
Isn't it? Encino was the location as well.
Oh, so then I'm completely.
It was a specific location where
I thought it was like
Encino.
Something had to do with prehistoric times. I don't know.
But we didn't know English people didn't know the Encino. They just went broader and just went California. Anyway, that's it for the spoiler-free section. If you guys want to see that movie, go check that movie out, and let us know your thoughts. Find us on social media at the Nerdy Bunch. For some quick spoilers, you guys have any quick spoiler moments? It's gonna be spoilers now, guys. If you're listening, there's gonna be spoilers.
Spoiler moments. Should we just tell them? No, I was like, should we just tell? Should we
Get
tell them
out.
about the drink since we already kind of
Well, this is this is a spoiler moment now, so it's fine. I did like the whole soda, the whole he wants fizzy water. That's his drink.
Yeah, I'm like, was soda seltzer really that
bubble.
big deal?
But I'll say I like the idea
Too
that
much.
highlights what privileges we all have today. Those of us who live in a modern society,
Having a coffee
People-
machine that's what it would be like. If like having a coffee machine, I feel like if we saw somebody from
Or just coffee plantation
plantation south,
general. Yeah.
yeah, or like a food processor, that would be like that would blow
Light
somebody's
switch.
mind.
Just a light switch.
I know.
Like,
Let alone an entire iPad that he's like, here, I made this app. He's like, you created this magic mirror? It's like, no, if I did, I wouldn't have any problems. Like, I
right,
wish.
I love that.
You
I also
created the
found it- I
magic
found it-
mirror.
I like the idea of, and it made sense when the parents was like, name the app after us. I like that, but I just wish that they went deeper with that. They came in last minute with the whole parent thing. I was like, no, I get
Yeah.
it.
I wish we had more time to spend with Sarah. Like we talked about her the whole movie, but then you didn't even show like what she went through after. Like, she didn't care that she didn't struggle at all when her husband fell into the thing and disappeared. Like there was nothing like
Yeah.
that. She was just okay,
Again, which is why I think a series would have explored that better, right? Going back and forth.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that would have
it's
been
a
nice to
series
see
that
it
spent a
go
lot of
back
time.
and forth.
It was very
Um,
rushed. That whole family tree was just kind of like,
Mhm.
here's your son, here's your great grandson, and I'm your great great grandson or great.
Yeah, I was like, there's a lot, y'all. What?
was
Okay, I guess.
Oh.
It was also that was super weird. I didn't
And
understand
then
that at all.
it just felt random. It was interesting, but it just felt random when it's like, okay, now you're deported, and it almost felt like a new movie, and I like the commentary of the idea that at one point America was like, immigrants come over here, help us build our country. Now America's like, immigrants get out of here.
Yeah,
So like,
it's yeah,
that was
your work's
interesting
done.
commentary, but it doesn't spend enough time in it. And then when we get
Yeah,
there, that whole,
if you don't get it, you barely hear it.
yeah. And then
You
even when he
wouldn't know.
gets there, that whole time when he meets it goes to the synagogue, and I guess the rabbis, like almost him trying to deal with his culture and realizing that I'm Jewish, but am I Jewish? That's another interesting angle to really tackle and deal with, right? I think anyone that has religious parents, not just Jewish, but if you have parents who are super Christian, Catholic, whatever,
That is a definite. I've had conversations with my friends, and like sometimes some of them who aren't religious, but like, so I like the way that he talked about it, but I wish he would have talked about it more because I don't think it was
That's the thing.
explored enough.
I think it just touches on it, but it doesn't go anywhere narratively. I think the narrative is too focused on Herschel trying to make money for this billboard.
And Herschel was kind of a dick, and like they kept trying to make it out like he was the main character, but I felt bad for Ben because like I would have did the same shit if like some dude that I got out of the hospital and then got me arrested and then ruined my whole dream. Like what? Like and then it only took them to the end of the when I was it's just a lot.
But Ben's whole thing with they dabbled on it, and the whole idea that he was too scared to push forward, right? Where Herschel's complete opposite. Herschel's like, I want to do this, I'm going to do it. Ben's like, I want to do this, but I'm too scared and worried.
Yeah.
Because if it was, it's Herschel was to spark anything whatsoever. Because if it hadn't been for him, he wouldn't have done anything. Instead, he's
Nothing.
like, all right, go ahead and present this now, but now you can't, and now it's too late because you already have a criminal record. So it's like he got him to push forward, but then ruin that one dream, the initial dream. So it's like, would you prefer to try and then realize you failed and try something else, or never present what you've been working on at all?
Right.
But see, that's why I wish
some action.
Which is why I wish they worked. We had more of a team up. Because Herschel did bring the best out of him, and I wish it was more a story about these two guys. Because I almost thought that was what was going to happen. I thought they would bring their whole thing together, and he would use his pickle business, and they'll make an app together, and their sensibilities would create something awesome.
Yeah, you can definitely see
Agreed.
a couple scenario where.
What I didn't understand was like certain parts I felt kind of dragged, and I was like, wow, this movie's long. And then I looked down, it was only an hour in, and then it was over, and I was like, oh, so we're not going to get any of them working together? That was it? Okay.
Yeah, I was under the impression, at least from a trailer, at least from what I remember, I thought it was them starting a pickle company together.
Right.
How ridiculous that sounded, but somehow they made it work because they both come from two very, very different backgrounds, but also have very specific skill sets, especially skills that Herschel didn't know applied to today. When it came to that scene where He's just like, yeah, everything's organic. It's just
I'm like, the
cucumbers,
health department wouldn't take that
Great.
long to get there either.
That's so stupid. I felt like young Seth Rogen was too quick to turn on his great grandfather.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was just very, and I get that he felt bitter and everything like that, but I just felt like he was very quick to turn on him. Like from like loving him.
Yeah,
like,
and it wouldn't
well,
be
great.
the great grandson that catches him. Like, I'm sorry, somebody from a neighboring business would have definitely shut that old man down for like creating a line on the block.
I didn't like them as antagonists to each other. There should have been a third party antagonist that maybe they start together antagonists, but then they realize, wait a minute, there's this third party. And
I think one of the themes was fighting against yourself, though.
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, that's the end of that. And again, if you guys have seen the movie and you want to give us your spoiler-filled thoughts, let us know. Find us on social media at The Nerdie Bunch. Thank you, Mercedes.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Rocket Mike.
Thank you.
My name is English Dave, and this has been a Nerdy Bunch review for An American Pickle, which is currently on HBO Max. And as always, Mercedes.
Keep it nerdy.
Keep it nerdy, guys. Peace.